in. Alright, let's do another sound test. I can see my microphone is going bouncy, bouncy, bounce. How about you, Ray? Can you talk for us again? That's not coming up. Okay, let's get that sorted. Try now. 1, 2, 3 again. Nope. Okay, audio capture output is not working. Ooh. Let's try now. I'm trying all the different settings. Keep talking for me, mate. Just keep going as if it was a. Yep, you just need to keep going with it. That is okay. It's not playing nicely. Okay, let's see. Maybe that's a Zoom thing. Now let's just check again. Can you hear me? Yep. Okay, so that's working. Interesting. So sorry, people, if you're watching, we're just setting up some new sound, trying out a new system here, trying to get the old headphones to work so that you can have clearer sound without echo, because nobody wants to listen to that, right? Okay, well, it should be going out. I don't know why it's not playing. Okay, I've got another idea. What we'll do is we'll just set up a whole new sound output, because obviously it's going to be a dick. Audio output capture. It's painful that you have to kind of almost do this on stream. Audio output capture. Let's go. Device. Testing, testing. Can you give me another test, please?
Oh, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, sorry.
There we go. Now we have some. That's much better. Okie dokie, we are good to go. Choice. Okay. Now, let's do a little bit of a recap. So Dr. Soto is who you are. I suppose I should probably mention that this is Rollstream and I'm RKDM and this is Ray and he's playing Dr. Soto today. Playing in London, 2024.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got a couple of tasks that you've been given recently. Yeah. What do you make of that?
I just have to blow up a boat and frame the spot.
Just got to do that. That'll be no problem, right? No worries. Well, let's do it. Okay, so
No, I can't die. It's the only thing.
Unless there's a meatsy build a new Dr. Soto and pretend it's you, and there's a puppet walking around pretending to be Dr. Soto. That could be possible. So I suppose that introduces a potential element of death. Would I do that to you? Depends how badly you play, to be honest. So, okay. Let's get this underway. All right, so Dr. Soto, you went to sleep at the end of your evening, I believe. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you wake up the following evening in your haven, beneath the restaurant, the fusion restaurant. I had a name I came up with for it, but You absolutely don't have to use it. It was something like Fusion Noir or something. It was pretty blah, but yeah, come up with something else if you want. I was just using it for my notes basically.
Did I
Okay.
show you? I guess I'd
Yeah.
send it to you. I sent it to Charlie. Uh, this is a picture of how I want my store to look, or I mean,
Okay.
store restaurant.
Your restaurant. Okay, let's have a look. It's in. Ah, I see. Ooh. Okay, that is pretty run down. Okay. Okay. And it's obviously it's not in the desert. It's in the middle of the city, but I get the
Yeah,
picture.
it's in London. Yeah, it's just the front part. Everything else, I
Okay. Cool bananas. All right, I can deal with that. All right, so it's pretty uninspiring for most people.
yeah.
I thought this was going to be a fancy restaurant. Yeah,
It is. It has a theme to it. I was telling
I
Charlie I'm
see.
making the backstory. It has a theme. You know,
Right.
there's a place. It's like a Michelin star restaurant that it's like $1,000, but there's a whole
Ooh.
bunch of small meals and
Yeah.
like different themes to it. It's like I forgot what it's called, but it's pretty crazy. And they even have like a pink room where all the
Ah.
food is like pink, and yeah, it's like a whole experience.
Hey, Wild Heart, welcome. Okay, that sounds very interesting. A pink room in the restaurant. Is that something that you have?
No, no,
No,
that's something I'm not copying
something
their
they have.
style.
You're not copying it, right? Gotcha. That makes sense. So what do you have? I get the impression that this exterior is designed to scare away, the average people, so they don't try and come in here, but only the people who are in the know
Yeah,
sort of come here. Right.
it's and I think the fancy thing is, all these fancy restaurants have like a deep meaning, like the one I just mentioned about. It's probably
Yeah.
like it's not about what's on the outside, it's about what's on the inside.
Right.
Would probably
Right.
be the thing.
Just like Dr. Soto's daughter.
All right, damn. You, you, oh, you throwing shots? Or you got beef with Mr. So?
I'm just kidding. I'm just taking the piss. Don't worry, I'm just joking around. Okay, all right. So
I
Dr.
mean,
Soto, yep. You wake
this
up
is
in your
my
haven.
character.
Yeah, mate.
Yep.
You wake up in your haven, and we talked about the sort of bedroom that you have and the bed that you have. So it's basically it's a bed, right? It's a
Yeah,
okay,
he's sleeping
right,
comfortable, since he's underground, though. Doesn't have to worry about too much.
right. Viscera is on the inside, says Wildheart, and it wants out. Um, okay, so here's the thing: you're Nosferatu, kind of. Does he kind of
Mhm.
wake up like on sheets that are kind of soaked in pus, or is he
No,
a
he's
little bit
very clean.
cleaner
I
than
told you.
he's very
Yeah,
clean?
he's
Okay,
yeah.
because he can modify himself, so he wouldn't put up with that kind of nonsense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so you
And
get
to
up,
be a scientist, you have to be clean. All the experiments he's most likely doing and touching.
right?
Can't
Makes
comment.
sense. Yep. Okay, sounds reasonable to me. So you have woken up and you're lying on your bed. Um,
Mhm.
you are probably going through in your mind the sorts of things you're going to need to do and the things that you've been asked to do. Um, and so on your agenda right now are a few things. Um, the things, I guess, that have happened recently. Cypher Corporation, you just had that meeting the night before with Cypher and you managed to convince them. Basically, you told them that you were going to invest $90 million into the company to keep them afloat just in case Nordstrom Industries buys them out. And this
Yep.
will guarantee that you maintain the what's the term? The controlling shares of the company. So that was an interesting scenario, and one of the directors died on the spot from a heart attack because you put cocaine in his coffee. Um, that was probably part of the reason. He probably also had pre-existing conditions. Um, so
Most
there's
likely. You did say he was overweight.
he was overweight, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was no surprise to anyone really when he passed away, unfortunately, in the boardroom, in the side room. Um, yeah, so that was sad. In the last session, too, you met Brutus, who is the Primogen counselor for Clan Nosferatu in London. And Brutus met you at the, what was it, the Bedwick something sewage plant? Wherever it was, Beswick, something like that. And he outlined a plan, which was essentially he wants you, with the assistance of your sire, who is his child, I think. I have to go through my notes, but I'm pretty sure. He wants you to sabotage and sink, if not outrightly destroy, a ship called the Fortune, which you have learned is making a supply run to London full of weapons and equipment that seem to be going to be used to target the anarchs of London. So, I don't know how you feel about that, of course, but I don't know whether your character even really understands what the difference is between an anarch and a Camarilla vampire or the Sabbat. These sects are all pretty. You've been around for a while, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it depends what time period this is.
Right, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Uh, he definitely
Seems
knows what the Sabat and
Camarilla,
Rilla is,
yeah.
but the
Given that
Anarch
it's, yeah, yeah, the
is
anarchs are a bit more mysterious in a way. They're they're kind of in this weird zone between the Sabbat and the Camarilla, or maybe there's something else completely, like a triangle. If you think of it like that. But it is confusing, especially for a new vampire or even a new player, and especially if you're a new viewer. It would be tricky to get your head around. So, anyway, these weapons are destined to be used against the Anarchs, and this weapon shipment is apparently owned and operated by the Ventru, namely Ivanovich Soze, who is the clan elder of Clan Ventru, and his childer Ivan is the Primogen counselor for Clan Ventru. So he's older than the Primogen counselor for the clan. So he's kind of scary. And out of game, we met him in our main session where
yeah.
he hurt your feelings.
He didn't hurt my feelings. He broke my teeth. What do you mean hurt my feelings? Like he just said mean words.
Oh, he
He
hurt your feelings.
oh yeah,
Right.
and he also got blood out of it. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So there was that. What else has been going on? So let's not forget the pact with the demon Sebnok.
Yeah, we haven't completed the pack. Is
Okay. All right. Well, if there's anything you want to talk about regarding that, sing it.
one thing in the contract is no insects in my laboratory.
Okay. So you don't want incense in the laboratory. Hmm.
Yeah, which
Hmm.
has to do with the whole clean thing. I don't think so. It's on like buds and shit going in the vents, and I don't think it will work well with the experiments also.
I
And
don't know that Sebnok can guarantee this. Um,
I'm pretty sure he doesn't even have that as a power.
what?
The insect stuff.
The insects?
Yeah,
Oh, that's good familiars.
good familiars.
Mhm.
That was not on the power sheet that I read.
Uh, I don't care. That's the bottom line. Is I don't care. That's what he's doing. He's plaguing you, and that's part of his thing. You're dealing with a
Yeah,
goetic demon. They don't play
yes, I
nicely.
know. Yeah, but that doesn't have insects. There's corruption. I read
Hmm.
that part
Hmm.
and other stuff. He could do that without the
Just because it's not written down doesn't mean he can't do it.
Oh, alright, that's what we're doing now. Alright, so he could help run the restaurant too.
He might, maybe he could, but would he?
Yeah.
Not like, no, probably not.
Oh my God. We
You're
had to
dealing,
redo the whole
you're
with the
dealing with.
whole.
You asked for a demon. You knew this was dangerous, and you
Yeah,
knew what that
I I
entailed.
I knew about corruption. They said nothing about insects in my laboratory. That's the main problem.
Well, I think it's interesting because now you have to deal with insects, and you might hate that. You see, the thing about drama is it requires conflict. Conflict
Yeah,
is drama, right? So
yeah,
if we don't have drama, we don't have conflict. There's no drama, and if there's no drama, nobody cares.
the
That's the whole
drama is that
core.
I have a certain supply of blood. That's one. Two,
Mm-hmm.
corruption. I think he's gonna just ban the demon as soon as if my character sees insects, he's gonna just ban the demons straight away and then get a new one. He's not gonna deal with that. And incense is not allowed in
I
that.
see. You think you're going to gamify the Go show? Okay. You know what? Alan Bennett, who was a famous occultist, said to Aleister Crowley, who was another famous occultist, even more famous occultist, he said, "I see the Goetia have been playing with you, my child. You're fucking with powers that are beyond your comprehension. You asked for that."
Yeah, I know. I knew the risk, but everything was part of the drama, like you said.
Hmm.
Uh, the insects are no go in the laboratory. Um,
What are you going to
yeah.
offer him to avoid having insects in your laboratory?
He, first of all, every other demon takes vampire blood as an offering. He's getting special elder blood as an offering. Alright? I wasn't expecting elder vampire to be in there. I was planning on making a pact with a demon anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So he's getting an extra. Two,
And he
yeah,
does some pretty cool shit for you, to be fair. I
that I
mean,
have not seen yet. What's the cool shit he does? You haven't explained
well,
that part. It's just
he
nothing but bad shit.
he fucks up anybody that comes into your laboratory.
Mm, okay.
The fact that you haven't needed to see that is probably a good thing.
Yeah. Everything else I'm good with, but no incense. There's not
All
nowhere in
right.
the book I read that he had
I can see
incense.
that this particular drama is ruining your fun, so we'll pull it back and we'll say there's no
Yeah.
insects. But I must say, I think you're being a pussy, but that's okay.
I must say that it was nowhere in the books was insects in there. But
Why are you so caught up on what's in the books?
because you be like, all right, rules are rules.
No.
So,
The rules are a crutch.
mm.
It's a crutch. The rules are there in case we don't know how to roleplay.
So why can't you have like mini demons that walk the halls or something? Or something else that isn't insects that's more that could have conflict.
Because historically, this is how demons appear in real life. If you do some research, they tend to possess insects or creatures of some description. They don't like come out of the astral plane and go. I mean, yeah, okay, they can do that if they really, really, really want to, but the amount of astral psychic power that it requires to do that is ridiculous. So it's much more economical for a demon to use an insect than it is to actually manifest physically on the
So
prime material plane.
so now we're talking about real life demons and not demons in VTM.
Yes,
Alright.
that's what I do. I mean, there are other DMs out there that will run vampire in a very blasé, half-assed bullshit way, and that's okay. They can do that. I'm not doing that. I spent 20 years studying the occult in real life. I actually know what I'm talking about. So,
That's cool.
I don't know. So, in any case, we'll ignore the insects.
Hmm.
I guess they are just invisibly patrolling and watching. His presence is permeating the very walls, excuse me, and atmosphere of the place. Okay. So, in any case, you're awake and you're on your bed thinking about all the things that you have to do. What would you like to do?
Well, I will start making Novacek if that's possible.
Check for what?
No, no, it's a chemical toxic. It's
Oh,
a nerve agent.
oh, okay, all right. So, assuming that you have the equipment for this, which you've got a laboratory, you know, you've thought about it, you probably put this stuff together. It must be something you've been planning. So you must have purchased all the things, and given
Mhm.
that you have access to Cipher Corporation's equipment and resources as well. Okay, so you start working on a nerve agent, which I imagine is extremely illegal.
Oh yeah, but everything's extremely illegal in the laboratory.
Right.
I don't think anything was in
Right.
the
Hence the demons to
yeah.
keep things out.
Yep.
Yeah. Or the
And we're
demon.
gonna blow up a whole ship. Isn't that illegal also? Everything we're doing is illegal.
Yeah. Right. Um,
So,
I just like to keep account of these things because sometimes the cops come knocking, you know, and you have to deal with them in game. You know, ask Charlie.
Mhm.
She knows all about that. Um, okay, so you're doing your illegal activities as per normal
Yep.
in the laboratory, making your nerve toxins. Would you like to make a intelligence and do you think intelligence or dexterity and medicine check?
That's up to you. Um, Whatever you want.
I think we'll
I
do
know medicine
intelligence.
sounds right. All right.
Yeah, yeah. I think we'll go in intelligence.
2 successes, but 2 tens.
Two successes with two tens. Okay. Um, okay. You make some nerve agent, and it's very successful. The lab animal that you tested on. I don't know what lab animal you're testing it on. Is it a rat, a bird, a cat, a dog, a monkey?
Most likely a rat. Rats are smaller, and everything else you said sounds. I don't think there's
Awful.
a limited space.
Right.
Uh,
So do you have a fucking rat supply in the lab? Or do you bring
I
them in a box? One, you know, maybe uh, Jacobs brings them in one at a time.
well, I know I have space for other experiments that I made.
Yeah.
But yeah, I probably do bring in rats once in a while. They seem easy to report, and like I said,
Mm.
humans do a lot of testing on rats. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I I think well, that's off topic, but they are making a lot of agents to reverse aging. So
Okay. All right. So the rat curls up, shudders, twitches for a minute, and then just dies very quickly. Very
hey,
successful. Um, so the question is, how much of this nerve agent do you think you have? Um, you know, I don't want to let you get too overpowered, but you
so
should
I guess
definitely
that's
have
up
some.
to you.
Hmm. How many successes did you get?
Too.
Well, I think at this point you haven't kind of industrialized the process, so it's not like you can make tons and tons and tons of it endlessly. This
Yeah,
was
I'm
sort of
not.
an experiment, right?
This was just for the mission we're doing.
Oh, okay. Okay, so this is
This is
just a
not like
right. You're not
James
trying to
do a terrorist attack. I'm just trying to
right. You're
make
not making
gadgets for the mission. Yeah.
right. Okay, that makes sense.
So
Well,
I'll just
let's
say
say
two
two doses,
grenades.
two grenades, nerve
Yeah.
agent grenades. Oof. Okay.
Yep.
Scary.
Should be enough for this little mission we're going on.
Mm.
Um,
Mm. Okay. All right. So you've been working on your nerve agents. Is there anything else you want to work on in the short term?
Short term. I don't know. You had me think. Is your idea of a demon and my research of demons was two different ones? Um, so I should have wards
Okay.
around my daughter and the elder vampire, just in
Yeah,
case.
you should.
All right. So that's still good. Hmm. Research. I guess that's the boat is not there yet. You said it's
You got a
on
week. Now you've got 6 days.
Tuesdays. So I wanted to recon it at first, but if it's not there yet,
Well,
Nova
I mean,
Gas.
what you can do is, well, let's just say, Dr. Soto, that your sire leaves a message on your phone. Much like the last one, there's a number to call.
Oh, I called the number.
All right. The phone starts ringing, and then after a few seconds, it clicks and opens up. Dr. Soto, you called back. That's good. Good, very good. Now, I've done some investigating into this boat. It's going to be here in another 6 days. Now, the owner of the ship, well, it's not directly owned by, but it belongs to a company called, oh, what was the name of it? I want to say Oracle, but that's not it. RKDM, I do know the name of this company. I should know it. I can't remember it. Anyway, he tells you. The company is owned by Ivanovich Soze. You know this already. The cargo includes weapons and explosives and other illegal and rather dangerous packages. The location that it's docking is Pier 17 at midnight. He tells you the date. Now, there are some security measures that you're going to have to consider. There's a team on board that ship, a team of highly specialized security forces. They're very, very loyal to Soze. They won't brook any shit from anyone. Now, the head of security is Sergei Volkov. He's a former military officer I've discovered with expertise in counter-terrorism. He spent some time with the Navy SEALs and some other places too. He's been a mercenary for perhaps 20 years now. He's got 10 guards that he's hired from a number of corporations, and many of them came from Blackwater. You probably are familiar with Blackwater, a very large private security firm, fancy way of saying mercenaries. They have a lot of surveillance on board the ship too. There's cameras. They cover the perimeter and the key areas of the ship. I've looked into the blueprints of the boat, you see. I've dug in and discovered who built this ship. And it was built with certain security measures in mind. Now, there are a few access points. There seems to be two main access points. Both of them are heavily guarded, so you might have to find alternative ways on or off the boat, especially if you're taking any of your what do you call them again? Schlachter. Your creatures.
You are correct.
Thank you, yes. There are alarm systems on board, sophisticated ones. They trigger immediately. They trigger lockdown procedures. And they alert nearby security reinforcements. So once the alarm is triggered, everyone on the boat will be, of course, aware, and then there will be patrol boats that will be headed towards the ship too. So you'll need to consider that in your getaway if you want to, yes. So that's what I've discovered. Is there anything else I can help you with there?
So we get a team together?
A team? Yes, we could do that. That seems like a reasonable plan. What sort of team do you want to find? I can pull together some mercenaries of my own. if you wish.
Well, we need a hacker
A hacker.
for the surveillance.
Ah, yes. Yes, that would be a good idea. Hello, Feral Artificer, by the way. Hello. Yes. Hacker, you say?
Yep.
I should like to... Very well, I'll look into that. Hacker. What else might we need, do you think? You have explosives. I have access to some serious amounts of C4.
Yeah, we'll need that also.
Plastic. But of course the problem here is that Brutus doesn't just simply want us to sink this ship, does he? That's not the goal is not just to destroy it, but also, more importantly, to frame the Sabbat in this respect. How do we do that? Do you have a plan for that?
Well, I think I asked you to see if you find any major Sabbat leaders. At least a picture.
I see. Finding the pictures of Sabbat leaders is a very tricky thing to do. It's going to take me a few days to dig that up. Yeah. But I shall look into it. Certainly I will look into that. Very good. Now, is there anything else I can do in regards to this mission for now?
The hacker, C4, picture.
I've heard that there's possibly the opportunity for us to purchase an EMP charge.
I didn't know that was possible if we had money for that, but yeah, of course.
Well, we don't really have money for it, but perhaps you do. You have your company. Cypher Corp could perhaps, well, you know, they might need some new piece of equipment, perhaps. They could perhaps look into such a thing. I don't know. It's up to you, really. I don't know what's possible.
Yeah, we're broke.
Oh dear.
If you just find me a hacker, yeah, that would be good.
I see, a hacker. All right. Well, I would certainly look into that. Yes.
Yeah.
What sort of hacker are we talking about, by the way? Social engineering or kind of network incursions? There are different sort of specialties.
Someone that could hack into their alarms and security cameras.
I see. Yes. Yes. Right. Right. All right. Well, I'll look into that. Thank you. Very good. Well, I suppose that's it then.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps we should have a meeting tomorrow just to see where we're at with all of this.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
Let's make it at midnight. And perhaps we can do this down at the dockyards, somewhere near there, perhaps a warehouse. I'll see what I can arrange as far as a meeting place is concerned. I thought perhaps we could have a bit of a scout of the final location. Maybe there's an opportunity there. It could be, you know, Dr. Soto, that maybe the best plan of attack is to hit them when they actually arrive. And it's very visible, and we don't have to worry about water transport and patrol boats and all that sort of nonsense. If we hit them on the wharf, everyone will know who did it, because it would be very obvious, won't it? You know, when we frame the Sabbat at that point. You could unleash all sorts of creatures from hell.
That does sound like a great plan.
I liked it too, yes. Right, well, I'll leave that in your hands. We'll go and scout the location tomorrow night then.
Right.
All right, well, good luck. And remember to feed properly. I don't want you to get thin. Blood.
Alright.
Good night. Click. All right.
Yeah, I'm not spending my money on the EMP.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, what's next for Dr. Soto? Any plans off the bat?
Off the bat, again, we have to talk about the demon thing. Can I talk to the demon anytime I want, or
Um, if you summon him, you can.
do I have to do it?
I think you can talk to him, but you don't know whether he's listening. You can kind of assume that he's listening, but he's not under obligation to talk back to you. Not unless you actually summon him.
We haven't filled out the contract yet. Um, hmm, let me
Well,
see. Oh, the 4th of July is starting. Part two.
haha. Oh wow. So, typically in dealing with these types of entities, you need to spend some time cleansing and preparing yourself to deal with this sort of entity. If you just talk to it
Yeah,
randomly, you have a very high probability of going insane.
yeah, but the problem is he's also binded to the place, if I'm not mistaken. Is if he's protecting the place, he's technically still there
Well,
all the time.
he's agreed to protect the place, but he has so many legions of spirits beneath him that he can use to do that, and he can kind of be in more than one place at a time. These creatures are
So,
not just like mini demons. The Goetia are deities that have been fallen.
mhm. So if he's having another creature there, like, hmm,
I'm going to drop you a document in a second.
right? Yeah, we have to do demon negotiations.
Right. At this point, my conception of this is that you've made an agreement with him to protect the haven. That is all he does. And if you want something else, you need to make a new contract with him.
Well, to be honest, I never finished talking to him. Is I
Okay.
was under the impression that he was still gonna be there
Well,
talking. So we had,
I think we had something in there about once a month you would do a ritual where you spoke to him.
yes.
Yeah.
Um, we did, but like I said, we never finished the agreements. Because there's a lot of different ideas of the from the demon.
Okay. So what are you expecting?
Oh, well, I read demons offer want stuff in return, so it's usually a deal. So I was the full negotiations, whereas him looking at my research too and getting knowledge out of it.
So, what? Sorry, him looking at your research.
Yeah.
In what way? Like helping you with it?
Uh, both. Yeah. He gets uh
Okay, so this is new.
yeah.
But
I want
given.
him there to talk to. That was like I want him actually there. I think I mentioned it before. Um,
Okay.
like present.
Okay, so you want him there full time. Well, I guess the fact that I threw in an extra couple of blood points that you had to spend it per month could make up for some of that.
But then he's also getting knowledge, so I have to get something in return. His knowledge is also an offering that he's getting constantly every day. So yeah,
Right.
and like I said, Solo seeks knowledge all the time.
Right.
So him working with one in return and having him there to talk to, like you said,
Right.
he's beyond my knowledge.
What I don't want to do is
Yeah.
trivialize this entity and turn him into a pet. He's not a pet, right? That's the most important thing for me. You're dealing with a very, very, very scary fucking thing, and
Yeah.
you want to have him around all the time. Okay, but he's gonna fuck with you, and I'm gonna fuck with you, and you are not gonna get angry with me for fucking with you because this is what you asked for.
All right. First, the point of Solo is his madness, right?
Right.
We agree. There's madness going on. Dealing with a demon is his part of his backstory for the madness,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or you wanted to find the reason for the madness. All this other bullshit.
Oh, I mean, the thing is, he's already got a Zamitzi thing going on. There's already plenty of madness. Like, he's done this thing with his daughter, and that was before the demon. That's
Yeah.
perfectly good grounds for madness. We don't actually need demons for madness, but that certainly will add to the package, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yes.
that's like the next nail in the coffin.
Yeah. We're gonna go. Like I said, we're gonna dig more.
Yep, yep.
Let me see.
Keep
Um.
digging.
Yeah, I am. Um. I looked up what's. Yeah. See it. Dig with him. Hmm.
All
Unless you
right.
have another idea that we could talk more daily than once a month.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. Daily could work. We could do daily rather than so it's I mean I think that it's okay that you talk to him, but I think it's like a little bit like Venom. Venom just doesn't have to respond. He's got his own personality. You're stuck with him, but he's
Mhm.
does that kind of work? I mean, if you really,
I
really,
I
really
like it.
didn't, I think that if you wanted to, you could spend a blood point to summon him. I think that would be fair, because that's
All
no
right,
better
yeah,
or worse. Yep,
that's
that
fair.
that that works, doesn't it?
All right,
Okay.
I'll take that. Yeah.
All right.
Um,
Cool. That works. Hey, Mad Girl Charlie. The demon wants blood, not knowledge. Right.
the knowledge is always a offering. That's what it says. What I read.
Right. I mean, a lot of these Goetic demons offer you knowledge and expertise in things. They're the ones that give you knowledge usually.
Yeah, but there's different. There's demons that's all about knowledge
Mm-hmm.
that you can call like this. This demon's all about like defense and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
there's different dignities, where we call.
Yeah.
Uh, and they all want different stuff. And I read this guy is not a good one at all. Like he's very malicious, as
Right.
you said.
Right.
Um, And there's some of them that's actually better, like the fast one.
Oh yeah, there's a
Um,
lot. Yeah, most of them
yeah.
actually want to be redeemed because they've been taken down from grace, like they were pagan deities prior to Christianity. The Christians came along and said, "Oh no, they're not. We can't have them. They're demons. Make them into demons," and then told everybody that they're demons. So now everybody thinks they're demons. So then they're like, "Wait a minute, we're fucking gods here, you know, and you've made us out to be bad guys, and now we're pissy. We're kind of pissy about that." And so they want to be redeemed. They want people to know that they're actually good guys, but nobody believes that they're good guys. So they have to, by doing service for people, they can redeem themselves. But
Yep.
there's so much, I guess, propaganda on top of that, saying that they're malicious entities. Now, to be fair, they are not necessarily wholly good guys either. They're like anybody. They have good things and bad things, and they can get angry and they can be helpful. They're not always one thing.
But
Um,
the one I'm dealing with is just malicious. He's
yeah,
he's one of the malicious ones.
yeah.
But like I said, some of them demons want knowledge, like or service or all types of different offerings. It's not always just blood. This
Hmm.
one I can see just wanting blood. Um, because of his what I read about him. But you know, to fight a demon, I might have to call another demon later on, and we're gonna be more and more in debt.
You can always try summoning archangels. That's the other thing. I mean,
Oh, I even
in
know that was allowed.
well, you can try. You don't necessarily summon them, but you might call upon their powers. That's the closest you might get, especially as a fucking vampire. They're not typically going to help vampires, but um, in the books, the actual you know um, grimoires of goetic magic, you do actually use the name of God and the name of like the four names of God and well, actually the 72 names of God and the four letters of the tetragrammaton and all sorts of other shit that I don't want to get into. But there's a huge amount of stuff that you use to control the demon, um, and you're basically taking on the word of God to do it. And as a vampire, that's kind of contradictory. So you have to work
And that's
extra hard to make that work.
and that's not drama. If there's gods and stuff, everything has to be dark. It's either I go from demons
Mm.
to bigger demons.
Right. Well, where's that shovel?
Yeah, we're just dead deeper. I don't think God's gonna help me at this
Mm.
point. After I'm definitely going to hell. Yeah. So yeah, I spend the blood point to call him, talk to him a little bit, gain knowledge. Um,
All right.
be a little corrupt.
What do you say when you summon Sebnok? You can feel his presence in the room around you. You can't necessarily see him, but you can feel his presence, kind of like a prickly sensation on the back of your neck.
Yeah, I like that. As long as we're talking, I don't have to see him. I don't think he
Mm-hmm.
looks very appealing. So it's better like this, but yeah. Um, which will probably also go to his backstory of being coldly logical
Mm-hmm.
because he's used to working with a demon always on him that he's
Right,
nothing
right.
compares to that.
So when somebody sticks a dagger in his back and or points a claw in his back, he's not quite as freaked out as somebody else might be. He's
Yeah.
like, okay.
I
He's
dealt
got
with worse.
He's like, I got bigger
Yeah.
problems. 99 problems, and your fucking dagger ain't one of them.
Yeah. And
Okay.
yeah, explain why he's not so nervous on the outside. But yeah,
Yeah,
with that,
yeah.
if
Okay.
he's used to working with
He
a
manages
demon.
to, he internalizes all of his trauma and terror. Okay. Dr. Soto, you've called me again. What do you wish of me this time?
Sorry.
You laugh at me, I will eat your soul!
I'm not laughing. My character's not laughing. Hold up. Alright. I
Yes, Soto.
I wish for advice.
Advice, I can give you that. What is the subject upon which you wish to be expounded?
I need to destroy a boat and frame the Sabbat.
Details.
There's 10 armed guards, one ex-Navy SEAL, cameras, alarms. See the document.
You can obfuscate like your kin, can you not?
Yeah, I can.
Then walk upon the boat and slay them with your hands. You are strong enough when you burn your blood. But I must suggest there are better uses for your fetae, such as my assistance, of course.
I wanted to ask you a question. How many of them are you?
That is an open question, Soto. What do you mean by this? I am
many-
Legion.
How many demons are as powerful as you?
There are none as powerful as I. I am the master of all. Conqueror of worlds. Slayer of gods.
So you don't fear anything?
I fear nothing!
That's all.
More questions? No? That is it. That
No.
is your questions.
That is it.
But I feel you have failed to ask the right ones.
In due time.
I have advice for you, Dr. Soto.
I'd love to hear it.
But it comes at a cost.
What's the cost?
Vitae. More vitae. Blood.
How much?
Oh, just a little. The blood of
I
a
need-
child would suffice.
And how good of advice is this?
It may save your life.
I'll game real fast. If I kill a child, I'll lose humanity, right?
Probably. But you don't have to kill a child to get a child's blood. I mean, you could get a drop of child's blood.
Oh, I thought he said kill a child.
No, he said he needs child's blood. The blood of a
Oh,
child
alright.
is what he said.
I was ready to kill a kid, but never mind. Alright.
You were just like straight there, like whoop. Blood of a child. Oh, I need to kill children.
I was gonna waste the humanity point to kill one. Sure, alright, we're back in. Alright. Yeah, sure.
I'll be waiting for you. Good night, Soto.
Good night. Love you.
I love you.
And you feel him withdraw from your presence.
Yeah, my dream, a gay relationship with a demon. Let me stop.
Okay. So,
So,
mhm.
we're gonna get some children blood?
Right, how are you going to do that?
Google the nearest school?
Well, there is a nearby school, but it is nighttime and there are no children there right now.
Hmm. Alright. That's true. That's true. Um, hmm. Yeah, I'll just
Boots 2.0, love it, feral artificer.
um hmm. Should I just walk around so
Yeah, you can walk the streets looking for kids if you want.
yeah, this doesn't sound too well.
Right. It's funny actually because your other character feeds on child predators.
Yeah, I know. And now am I this character?
I don't know if they're going to get along.
That and I'm his father.
Right, right,
I made sure to connect them somehow. And
right.
yeah, they're definitely not gonna get along.
Makes
Um,
makes sense.
uh, I'm going with some Star Wars themes of Darth Vader. Um,
No, it's impossible. You're not my father.
yeah, I guess I'll just walk around
All
and
right. Okay, so you can make a wits and investigation check, please.
what's an investigation? Two successes, 110.
Two successes, 110. Okay, you find a kid that seems to have gotten lost. Um, he's sitting outside of a store with his head in his hands, crying, and seems
Yeah,
to be he's being ignored by everybody who's going past, just pushing past, bustling, and because it's still early in the evening at this point, so there's quite a few people around. Um,
you're gonna make me feel bad about the stuff I'm gonna do.
yes, I am. That is correct. You should have played D&D, bro. This is vampire.
Nobody else is kidnapping kids and shit.
I don't know. I've seen some terrible things played out.
Oh God.
Go on.
All right. I use my vicissitude and
Okay. Yeah.
I change into a woman.
Ooh, okay. So you don't just use obfuscate to do that. You're going to actually physically change into a woman.
Yeah, change to a woman.
Okay. You're going to make a dex, and what is it you normally make for that? Dex and medicine, is it?
Yeah, I guess.
And
And
where do
that's what
you
I
do
used
this?
last.
Wouldn't it just to figure this out mechanically? Because I don't honestly get a lot of players with vicissitude. It's usually something that only my bad guys have. Um, so when you
Uh,
do it,
I,
I assume it takes like half an hour to an hour or something to actually transform yourself physically using vicissitude. So would you have done this before you left the Haven?
nah, if we're doing RP wise, no. Is that what I had to see in the kid, and I don't think I would have had this plan on.
So he could use
Um,
Mask of a Thousand Faces with Obfuscate, which
I
he
only
can
have
just
two
do.
dots.
Oh, you only have
Two
two
dots.
dots. I see. So
Yeah.
that's why you want to use vicissitude. Okay, that makes more
Yeah.
sense. I gotcha. Okay.
Uh,
All right. So maybe
Fuck it.
you stop at an alleyway and
Once I talk in obfuscate, it removes it, right?
yeah, if you're using obfuscate,
Yeah.
you sneak up to him. Yeah,
Good.
it'll break it.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess I have to wait and follow.
Okay. All right. Um. Well, after about half an hour, a woman comes out of a shop about three doors down, and she comes along and she just grabs his arm and picks him up, and they start walking down the street, and he's still fucking miserable and crying, and she stops for a minute and tells him to shut the fuck up and spanks the shit out of him, and then keeps dragging him down the street. She's got her purse in one hand. Looks like she's got a few groceries in the other. She looks like probably a meth head.
Thank you for making me feel less bad. Yeah, I follow her.
Okay. So they walk to a place, an apartment that's within walking distance of this shop where you found them. And she takes out her keys and goes in through the back gate and gets to the back door. It's on the ground floor. There's a little garden there. It's completely overrun with weeds. There's a child's tricycle sitting there upside down in the garden, wheels spinning in the wind. It starts to rain, and she goes up to the latch and opens it, pushes the door open, and goes inside and pulls the child in. Do you want to try and follow her in? Or are you going to wait for her to close the door and lock it? Which, of course, will make your life more difficult, but there's other ways.
I'll try to follow her in. I'll see if I
Okay.
can do that.
Let's make a Dex and Stealth check.
Alright. Four successes.
Oof. Okay, so no problem. You sneak into the house right behind her. You just skip around past her and flatten up against the wall as she locks the door and bolts it from the inside. And then she starts telling this kid, "Right, Max, you've got to go to bed now, right? I'm putting you to bed right the hell now. You need to shut up." It's like, "But Mom, I need a story." And all this nonsense continues. She goes
I wait in his room.
Okay. Alright, so you're just obfuscated in his room, waiting. Okay.
Yeah,
So
this
she
is
comes...
not going well.
She
Sorry.
she shoves him in the bedroom, and you can hear that she's on the telephone now, and she's talking to some bloke somewhere. And she's like, yeah, come around. No, Max is going to be in bed by the time you get here. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Yep, same as usual. No problem. All right. Yep, cool. See you in about half an hour. And hangs up. And she shoves Max into his bedroom, and he's crying. And she just yells at him to shut the fuck up and stop making a fuss. She's clearly not thinking about his well-being at this time. She closes the door and locks him in the room with the light out. And he's yelling, and she bangs on the door and she goes, "Go to bed! Go to sleep!"
Alright.
Incidentally, you're locked in the room with him at this point because she's locked the door from the outside.
But he has a window, right?
Yeah, here's a window.
And is this house like near the street? Like one of those?
Yeah. I mean, there's an alley outside his window. The other side of the house is where the front door is, and that opens out onto the garden, which leads to the street at the front. Behind
In
the
the
house.
alley or anywhere, is there like a sewer crate?
Yep.
Alright. Well, I will start writing a note. Very sloppy. How old is this kid?
How old? Oh,
Yeah. Oh, how old does he look? I wouldn't know exactly, but like.
you'd say he's about 7 or 8.
Alright.
Could be
Does-
younger. Could be anywhere from 6 to 8.
Does he have any crayons and stuff laying around?
Yep, mostly broken. His toys, which are few, are broken, mostly. He doesn't have a lot. It's obviously a very poor income, low income house. In fact, you are beginning to wonder whether it's even his real mother. She might be like a foster mother or something like that.
Well, I'll write a note saying I'm leaving.
Yep.
Alright. And I'm gonna
In sloppy handwriting. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
leaving. Yeah.
I'm gonna vicissitude the kid.
Huh. Ooh. Okay, so you creep over to the boy, who's now sitting in his bed, the sheets up around him, looking fucking terrified. He's clearly afraid of the monster in the dark, which it so happens is you.
Yep.
Alright, so you move up to him, you touch him.
I put my finger around his lips so he can't
Okay,
talk.
so you seal his mouth.
See his
Okay,
mouth.
so he's now going, and he's fighting you, which I think you're strong enough to hold him down.
Yeah, a 7-year-old. Yeah, it should be no problem. Hmm. Well, can I open the window?
So you're holding his hands with one hand, and you're going to go over to the window with the other and open the window. Yep, you can do that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking he's not. Well, it's hard to picture, but he shouldn't be too heavy, and especially for a vampire.
You could pump some blood into your strength if you wanted to.
It's a 7-year-old. I don't think he's that heavy. Any
He's not
grown man
that. That's true, but it never hurts to be stronger, especially when you're dealing with climbing and stuff like that. I don't know. It's up to you.
How much blood point did I spend already? Obfuscate, vicissitude. That's
You lost,
4 right there.
right?
Right? Yeah, 4. All right. So to how much strength?
What's your current physical strength? Is it like 2 or 3?
1.
1. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's weak.
So, right. So when you say so he probably does need to spend some blood to control him, even though he's a kid. Especially if you're going to climb out the window and you're using one hand. He's
But
a very
one
weak.
strength for a vampire still should be able to carry a
No,
7-year-old.
no. 1 strength is like the same as a human with 1 strength.
Yeah, a human could carry a 7-year-old. You don't think so?
With 1 strength? Well, I mean, okay.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm gonna add
Yes,
the blood point.
I would say yes that a vampire, a human with 1 strength could carry a 7-year-old, but that's all they could do. Like,
Alright, so how much is it again? Is it 1 per blood point?
yep.
So yeah, I'll add 2 more to it for now.
Okay, so now you're average strength.
Wait, 3 is average?
Yeah, approximately.
Alright.
2.5 is average. There actually is no average in vampire. They've designed it specifically so it. Oh wait, 3 to 5. 3 is average. Yeah.
I need to look at the book again because I know 10 you would like pick up cars and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But 5 is the maximum for any vampire with less, whose generation is higher than 7, I think. Like you literally can't pump more blood than 5.
Yeah, so I'm down to 8, but I raised my strength to average, so I should easily be able to take this kid.
Yep.
And I'm jumping, I guess, on the 2nd floor or 1st floor. I don't know.
Yep.
I'm climbing out the window.
2nd floor. Yep. So you're going to jump from the 2nd floor, and you're going to make a strength and athletics check. Would you like to spend a willpower point?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. Good
Alright.
decision. I like that. I mean,
Wait, since I raised my blood with the thing, well, actually, I could put the dots there now. Never mind. Strength.
Yep.
Let me minus the willpower. Strength. And this. Submit. 1 success plus the willpower. So that's 2, right?
Yep. So 1 success plus the willpower. So 2 successes. All right. You land, and you don't accidentally drop the boy and break his neck, which is good. And you don't accidentally break your ankle either. It's not a pretty landing, 5 successes. You would have landed like
A
character
cat?
out of like a cat or a character from a Marvel film, with the hand on the floor. And no, you don't do that. You kind of like, oh fuck, Okay, you made it. All right, and the boy is still struggling, trying to wriggle out of your arms at this point. Now,
Yep.
I assume he can see you now because you've literally done all this stuff, and he's looking at your face, and he kind of just goes rigid. when he realizes what it is that's holding him. Because I guess the street light is the first time he's seen you. Yeah? Okay, so you got him. What now?
Oh, yeah, I'm running straight to the sewer.
Okay, so you run to the sewer, you rip the grate off the top of the sewer, and you start climbing down, holding him in one arm, I suppose.
Yep.
Alright, pull the lid back on. Okay.
Yep.
Right, you're in the sewer with a boy.
Why you have to say it like that?
I didn't mean to be fair. It just came out that way.
Alright.
These are some good clips for social media.
I know. I might have to make you sign something now. The DJ character, I'm fine with playing him, but this character, yeah, I might cut the tape, delete the bot. Is yeah. Yeah, I guess. How far am I from my lab? I shouldn't be that far because you said I walked.
Yeah, walking distance. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll just walk back. Shouldn't be nothing too crazy. This is
Okay.
not Serato territory, so I should know. Like,
Now, you go through the sewers to the point where you're closest to your lab. There is a point where you have to move from the sewer to the lab to get inside. There's about 200 feet that you have to get past across the street, cars, shit like that. Now, if you're carrying him, you're not going to be able to obfuscate. So, do you have a plan?
hmm. 8 blood points left. Wait, is it 8? Yeah, I think it's 8.
By the way, as you approach the restaurant from the outside, you can see that there's condensation on the inside of the window.
Hmm?
And as the condensation drips down the inside of the window, it forms a kind of face that looks like this kind of stretched out, sort of demonic face looking at you from across the street. It slowly just warps away and disappears, blending into the condensation.
So, what time is it?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
9:12 p.m.
Well, I just wait until there's no cars coming from either side.
Okay, that's a good idea. Okay. Just like that, you solved it. Okay, solved the puzzle. You have no idea how many players would fail that.
For real?
They're like, oh, I'm gonna just run across. I'm gonna come up with some cunning plan. I'm gonna climb the building and then jump across to the other side.
I'm just thinking realistically, and like,
Yeah.
there's times I live in a busy street. If I wait a certain amount of time,
Yeah.
like say there's a red light far and a red light far away, no cars
Yeah.
will come for a while.
Right.
So if you just
Right.
think, it shouldn't be too hard.
Just wait for a minute and yeah,
Yep.
patience
And I'm
is a
booking it.
virtue. Cool. Okay, so you run across the street. You get to the back door of the restaurant. You bust your way in. Well, not bust it, but you know. I assume it's a key, or is it a pin pad or something?
Let's do a fingerprint.
Fingerprint?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that was a fancy restaurant, even though it looks like a really not very fancy restaurant.
All right,
Okay.
maybe we shouldn't do a fingerprint. People's gonna be like, wait, this looks like shit, and there's one fingerprint. All right,
I mean, there could be like a flip panel or something, or a slider that,
all right, I like that. Yeah, we can still do that then. Yeah.
or even a
So-
stone. You could remove a stone from the wall.
And then fingerprint. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
I have one of those three. We'll figure it out later.
All right. Cool. All right. So you head inside, and you begin to feel that prickling sensation up the back of your spine again.
Alright. Huh? I will call out to Sabnock or yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you there? I got the kid.
Feed me his vitae. Just a drop. Burn it on the end of a blade.
Oh, I was gonna just give you the whole kid, but sure.
I do not want the child. I want his blood.
All right. Well, sure. So I go in the kitchen
Mm-hmm.
and I take a blade and I cut the kid with it.
Okay. All right. He's bleeding.
Now, light a flame. Place
Uh,
the blade into the flame. By feeding the flame with his vitae, I will taste it.
I guess I'll go back in the kitchen, light up the gas stove, and put it
Okay.
there.
You're lighting the gas stove.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to make a self-control check? Rostrek. Vampires don't like fire.
I forgot about that, but either way, can I spend a willpower point also?
You can. Yep. In
All
fact,
right.
if you spend a willpower point, no need to roll.
Oh, damn. Well,
That's okay. What did you get? Just
I
out of
have
curiosity.
9.
Oh, okay. 9, 9. Okay. Let's see. Woo. Great. Okay, so you got 2 successes that you rolled and another success from the willpower point. No problem. Very good. Oh, Wildheart, we're coming to that, dude. We're coming to the humanity check. We're definitely coming to the humanity check.
Yeah,
That's coming up very shortly, right after he feeds the blood to the demon. So yeah, this is going to be a self. You place the blade in the flame, and you see the blood kind of curdle up and begin to bubble on the end of the blade. And as it does, you can feel the sensation of somehow you have just kind of doomed yourself. And you can
oh,
make
I
a.
didn't do that before?
This is where we're going to make these. Yeah, yeah. This is the like. I don't know. Up until now, it's been kind of intellectual for him, perhaps. This is a really physical manifestation of it, and it's not just you. This is about this kid. But anyway, we need to make a conscience check at this point.
Oh, conscience check.
Yeah, what's your conscience?
How many successes?
Well, if you don't want to lose a humanity point at this point, I think you're going to need to make a pretty decent conscience check. So I think the difficulty should be 8, and I think you might need 2 successes.
Well, I only have 1 dot in conscience.
Well, I guess then you probably automatically fail. Unless you want to spend another willpower point.
Let me see.
I mean,
The
you can
funny
get
part
willpower points back, but humanity is
when you
much
look
harder to
at the
get.
rule book, it says 1 conscience is uncaring, and we're rolling to see if I don't care
Well,
or if I
we're
feel
rolling.
bad.
We're rolling to see if you. Yeah, we're rolling to see if you do feel bad. So you'd have to succeed on it to feel bad, and feeling bad is what's going to keep your humanity, so that you don't lose humanity and slide towards the beast and become a non-player
Alright.
character.
So how do you get willpower back again?
By me being very nice to you, by you playing your character according to your nature and demeanor, which is why it's important that you actually figure out what your demeanor and nature are.
Yeah,
so
I
that-
keep actually. Isn't there a sociopath as a demeanor?
No, it's too inspecific.
Oh,
I mean, you already got 1 humanity. That pretty much describes, not 1 humanity, 1 conscious. That pretty much describes a sociopath, all by itself. It's not so much about. It's more about the flavor of your character. What makes you tick? What it's. Yeah. Did we have a list of archetypes? I think I gave you a list of archetypes, didn't I?
yeah. It's just I didn't know what to pick for this character. I was like scientist. That's 1. And I was like, demeanor, I don't know. Because it's like your real you, your inside you, is your demeanor you
No,
explained?
your nature is your real you. Your demeanor is how you pretend to
Oh.
be, or how you. It's kind of not just how you pretend to be; it's who you think you are. The thing is, you might not actually be aware of the fact that your nature might be child, for example, but you think you're a fucking tough guy. And it's only you go. So your nature might be tough guy, demeanor might be child. So you go around being a tough guy until somebody actually something goes wrong, and at that point you turn into a child, and you start acting like a child because this shit's not working the way you expected it to. Um, I'm just describing my own life here, but that's not the point.
Uh, okay, should I just I'm gonna
Yeah.
roll anyways, because it doesn't hurt to at least roll.
Mm-hmm.
A five. So yeah, I'll just say I lost one humanity.
All right. So your humanity goes down, and with it, you become a little bit more bestial. You're a little bit paler, a little bit more kind of veins in your skin and face, a little bit more monstrous. It's a little bit easier for people to recognize you as a vampire than as a human. Now, that being said, you're already a Nosferatu, so. Well,
I
Katie,
guess my
technically.
demeanor is visionary.
Yeah, yeah, that would
That
make
makes sense.
sense. Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. Demeanor, visionary, nature,
Scientist.
scientist, yeah.
Or it should be the opposite, but that should be fine, right? My
Yeah.
demeanor is scientist and my visionary sees
What
beyond the mundane, strives for visionary
I think
discoveries.
I think the thing is like your nature can be a little bit more close to home. Like how your nature is something that you started off with as a, like even as a child, and it's very unlikely to have changed too far from that. And it probably should be the opposite of whatever your demeanor is, because you're hiding it, you're controlling it. So there should be a tension between the two.
Hmm. Not single-minded, devoted to cause. Fanatic? No.
So fanatic, yeah,
Yeah.
fanatic's not terrible. That could work. Um,
Yeah.
but take something dangerous, something difficult, something
What's dangerous? Name it.
child. That's difficult. Like
The fuck?
role playing a
You
child is hard. Or something vulnerable. I don't know. I think the worst thing to do is like go, oh, I'm going to have survivor, because that's dead boring. You want to make it the most interesting interplay between those two things. So they shouldn't
but
be too
what's
similar.
describe
Fanatics.
child like
Okay, so child is like when you, let's say you get hurt, you get shot or something, you start fucking crying and throwing a tantrum.
yeah, but that wouldn't match
Wouldn't
the
match
the
him.
character.
That's
Yeah,
true. So what I'm looking
yeah.
for is something that is as difficult as that. That is more on point though. Um, so what could it be? Well,
Uh,
let's put it out to
Deviant,
our deviant,
alter,
deviant,
yeah,
deviant, deviant, deviant. Yes, deviant is good. That could be a good
yeah.
one.
You like that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that. I think that could be a very
Derives
good
to
one.
break social norms and taboos, which
Yeah,
makes sense for finds
yeah,
motivation in defying expectations and
right,
exploring forbidden areas, which
right.
will make sense for
Yes,
talking to demons and doing. Yeah,
yep,
all right.
perfect.
So deviant is my nature.
Yep. So in the future, what you can do is you can say, okay, so I did something that's deviant. Can I get a willpower point back for that?
All right.
So if you can tell me, if you could justify how you have role played your nature in the last part of the session, or whenever it happens, if you do something that you think fulfills your nature, then that's something that you can use for leverage to get willpower points back.
Alright. Yeah. Visionary and deviant thrives to break social norms and taboos. Finds
Yeah,
motivation. Alright.
sounds good to me. Nicely done. That's nailed down. Okay,
Yep.
so you burn the
Completely
blood.
changed the scientist. Uh-huh. Alright, yeah.
So you've burned the blood. You've lost a humanity point. You're feeling. You don't feel bad about this.
Well,
Okay.
Yes, Soto, well done. Now, I suppose you would like some advice. Yes.
yeah.
Sneak your way onto the ship alone. Then transform your enemies into the Schlachter and Faust themselves. They are your tools. They will be your party. Do you understand?
Yeah, I like it. That's a great idea.
I believe it was, yes.
Hmm.
Somebody's playing a fucking musical instrument next to my house. They're practicing and it sounds really terrible. Just shutting my window. You know, I'm not saying they are terrible. They're practicing. They're obviously practicing for a reason, but, you know, they need to keep practicing and I don't need to listen to them practicing. Okay.
Do you believe my advice was worth the trouble?
If I complete the mission, yeah.
Excellent. Very well. Will that be all?
You have a wonderful day.
What will you do with the child now?
Oh,
Max.
I'm going to experiment on him.
Oh. Perhaps I will stay and watch.
Oh, alright. If you're into that.
All right. So you're going to stay there and experiment on this kid, huh?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. All right then.
Alrighty then.
Okay. So what are you going to do to him? And how much more humanity are you planning to lose today?
Oh my god. Wait, that doesn't count as humanity already?
That was one thing. You kidnapped a kid,
Oh,
bled him, and gave his blood to a demon. That actually I thought about it. I could have sucked you for 3 humanity points there, but I went with 1. So
alright.
you know,
I will experiment later. Let me recon. I will experiment another day. I'm gonna
Okay.
lock him in the basement. Yeah.
Okay, so you lock him in the basement. Okay, I'll let that sit with the last humanity point. Locking kids in the basement. I mean, if you let him go right now,
Mhm.
now that you've done what you needed to do, there would be no more need for humanity checks. If you keep him, lock him up, maltreat him, don't feed him, don't give him, you know, improve his life in some way, you might be liable to lose more humanity. I mean, people in the audience, am I full of shit? Tell me what you think. I want some feedback because you know, I want to be fair. I think it has to be fair.
Let me see about my my stuff.
By the time Dr. Soto gets to the main game, he's probably got like 2 humanity. Wild Heart, I think we need to talk. Mercy 2.0. Yeah.
It depends. How many years are we out? That
I
was
think this is like a couple of months away. What do you think?
Oh, this is a couple months.
Yeah.
we need to, we need to talk about some stuff.
Right, your phone
Uh,
rings.
Alright.
Hey,
Hello.
it's Steve here. How you doing?
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Yeah, we're dealing with the whole business with recent death and what have you, and the board of directors. You know, it's a bit sad, isn't it? But never mind. I guess we're all going to get over it and make fuckloads of cash. So anyway, I did get a call this afternoon from somebody named Frederick Jones. I'd never heard of him, but I looked him up, and he seems to work for Nordstrom. Anyway, Frederick Jones is interested in coming in and checking out the place and having a bit of a walk around, a bit of a sightseeing tour. The funny thing is, right, this is what got me that I thought was a bit fucking weird. He said he wanted to bring someone with him, and he said that he wanted to come at the only time that he had available was at like 11 o'clock at night. I thought that's pretty fucking strange. I need to talk to Dr. Soto about that, because that sounds like some fucking weird ass vampire bullshit to me. Done it.
You say he's bringing somebody with him?
That's what he said, right? I mean, this guy works for Nordstrom, and he wants to bring someone with him, some sort of advisor or something. I don't know. It might be. He
Did you
wasn't
get a
very
name?
clear about it. He didn't give me a name. He said it would be like an advisor or some sort of detail, I think is the word he used.
Well, sure. All right. Yeah, I can make it.
All right, okay. So we're looking at about an hour. If you can make it in about an hour, that work for you?
Yeah.
Great, great. Okay. Well, we'll see you then.
All right.
Click. All right. How do you prepare? What do you do?
Hmm. I guess I'm wearing the suit I had before,
Okay.
and I use vicissitude to look like the John Hancock person. Probably makes the most sense.
All right. That sounds fair. Wait. What did I say? Frederick Jones. Okay, so you got your shit together and you head over towards Cipher Corporation. Presumably, you are
Hmm.
once again going to take the subways to get there, I suppose?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. And all right, so you get there and the security guards let you in, and Steve is waiting for you up in the boardroom when you get there. Um, right, right. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. All right, so we're 15 minutes early right now, so we've got a little bit of time. So yeah, I managed to do a little bit of tracking down this Jones character, this Frederick Jones. Apparently, he works as a kind of executive headhunter, amongst other things. You know, humanities. What am I saying? Human resources, that type of stuff, hiring and firing executives and whatnot. I found a picture of him online. Actually, I'll show it to you. Here he is. He's quite a tall fellow, red hair, glasses. Yeah, but by the looks of it, he speaks English, but he's not actually from around here. It sounds like he's actually German. So I'm a bit concerned. I mean, I'm not concerned. I mean, I'm not really concerned. But the thing is, Jones, as far as I can tell, is not really a German name, is it? So I wonder about that. I'm guessing this is some sort of fake name. I'm just beginning to wonder whether these people are what they say they are. That's all. Thought we'd better check up on this. So I guess we'll see them shortly, eh?
Sounds like a plan.
Right, so now they're coming over here. They said they wanted to look around. What are we going to show them? Have you got any thoughts about that? I just want to have it clear in my head before I don't want to dig us any holes, so to speak.
Well, we could show them some of the new projects we're working on, and
Right.
our go-to drugs. And
Right.
yeah.
Okay, that sounds like a reasonable plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Show them the future and the present.
The future and the present. All right, very good. So, looks like they've been let in downstairs by the security. I think they must be coming up in the lift as we speak. All right, and you turn around and you can see that the elevator is coming up. And then the elevator goes bing, and the doors go and open. And for a moment, you're not quite sure what you're expecting. And these two figures step out, both male, both wearing suits, and the redhead guy gets out with the glasses, and he turns to you and he's like, good evening. I'm Frederick Jones. It's nice to meet you. You must be, I'm not sure exactly who you are, but you must be Steve, yes? The one I spoke to on the telephone. Yeah, that's right. I'm Steve. This here is Mr. Hancock, isn't it? Mr. John Hancock. Is that right?
That is correct. Yep.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Hancock's with us tonight because he's one of our main investors, and he has some controlling shares in the business, so he wanted to tag along just to see what this was all about. After all, you're coming into the heart and soul of our empire here, so we thought you'd like to meet some of the movers and shakers. Couldn't get anybody else at this time of night, you could understand that. Yes, of course, I do understand. It would be very difficult, I imagine, to get boards of directors out of bed at this time of the evening to come and visit strangers from afar, yes. I'd like to introduce you to this here is Mr. Eric Niles. And Eric turns briefly towards you and you see him nod. Can you make a perception check, please? With perception alertness.
Perception and alertness. Two.
All right, so you notice something strange is that this guy, Eric, he seems to be just standing in the shadow, like somehow the light just doesn't fall on his face. You kind of get the light off the side of his face, you sort of get his cheekbones, you get the top of his head, but his eyes seem to be always in the shadows. It's just kind of a weird sort of thing. It doesn't matter where you go or what he does, he's just kind of obscured. And it's in a way that it's almost imperceptible. Most people wouldn't notice this. It just looks like it's just the lighting, Maybe it is just the lighting. Or maybe it's something else. I think that given your background, though, as a Tzimisce ghoul, before you were embraced as a vampire, you have seen this before. You've seen this effect once before, when you met one of Sandra's colleagues years ago. It only happened once, but one of her colleagues came to visit her here, actually, at Cypher Corporation while you were working here in the lab. and this colleague came in briefly and had something very similar as this. In fact, it could even be the same person. You just didn't really notice it because at the time it was not your business. You know, you were busy doing experiments and she was just showing
Did I
somebody
get his
around.
name?
This time or that time?
No, this time.
Eric Niles.
Eric Niles. And I didn't get it last time, I'm guessing.
No.
No.
She didn't even introduce you to him last time. She just happened to bring him into the room, and she's like, and this is our, where we're making our experiments, blah, 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 and this is one of our doctors. And then she's like, don't look at us, you look at what you're doing. So, to that effect. All right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see how I could play this.
So, Eric doesn't really say anything, but Frederick continues. So, I was hoping that perhaps you could show us around. We'd like to see some of your facilities, and if you don't mind, we just want to get a bit of an idea of the sorts of assets that we're looking at here. Steve looks at you. You don't say anything, so he continues.
Steve is the main one running this shit more than me.
Yeah, I mean Steve. That's right, and Steve knows that, so he looks to you for deference, just in case, just giving you an opportunity to step in at any time that you want to, so that you have a chance if you want to, and when you don't, he just continues. So he's like, all right.
I will mention something about, hey, we should grab a coffee in the morning.
Frederick turns to you. He says, yes, that sounds like an excellent idea. We're flying out at 9 o'clock, so it will have to be very early, I'm afraid. But if you want to meet us, we'll meet you at the Heathrow airport. Perhaps you can make time for us there. Would that work? I can have our people call your people if you like.
Yeah, and Eric, you seem very quiet.
Eric
Are you not
turns
impressed?
to look at you, and you realize that he's wearing dark glasses under the shadow. He sort of steps forward out of the shadow for a moment, and he lowers the glasses, and over the lip of his glasses he looks at you, and you see that he has the most inhuman eyes. At that moment, you are 100% sure that he's a vampire. He looks over the glasses at you. He says, look at what you have done with our company. This was ours not so long ago. But we shall return it to its proper state. You, Dr. Soto, are alive because you might be useful to us. And then he looks up at you and he goes, forget. And you can either spend willpower points to not be dominated, to forget what he just told you and what you just experienced, or you can, as a player, forget what just happened.
Well, I don't know if it does pay it into account, but I do have a merit
Mm-hmm. What does
of
it do?
remembering everything, but I guess that doesn't. Does that fit?
You know what? I'll give you some advantage because of that. Okay, so I'm going to make a check for him to see if he can dominate you. Do you want to spend any willpower points, or a willpower point? And what is your current willpower? Also, what is your current willpower? Because that's the difficulty of this.
Yeah, because current in total, how
just firstly your current willpower.
So and Alright, so I have 5 left, and I think I have 7 in total.
Okay, and you got 5 left. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, I need to make a dice roll. Okay, and did you say you were or you were not spending willpower?
Well, I'm confused. Wait, I have to spend willpower to block this, or do I have to roll something else?
If you spend willpower, every willpower that you spend will block one of his successes.
Hmm. Yeah, we need to talk after this game. Um, about how this character affects the main game. Because I think
Mhm.
we mentioned it before
Mm.
that this is separate. Um, but
Well,
then
this
it's
is
like
well, as I see it, this is prequel.
prequel.
Mhm.
But like I said in the prequel, and I mentioned it, I was like, will my willpower and humanity affect the main game? And you said no. Uh,
Sorry, what? Your willpower and humanity affect the brain. Look, just because you spend willpower doesn't mean you don't get it back,
mhm.
right? So when you go back to the
Yeah,
main game, your willpower will be the same as it was,
yeah.
right?
But I don't know what you have planned for me, how you're gonna fuck me over.
Well,
That's
don't
why.
don't, don't assume I'm going to fuck you over.
Oh, you're
I'm
always trying to fuck me over. Don't. This is
What I'm trying to do is tell a story.
yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to fuck you over.
Okay.
All right.
Most of it doesn't matter too much if remember or not. Is I
Okay.
think my character should be smart enough to be like, oh, he still knows he's a vampire, so that I won't forget, right?
Well, not necessarily. He can make you forget that he even ever met you.
I thought he's making me forget what he told me.
Well, you don't know what you don't know.
All right, I'll save it, and if he tries to make me forget that I met him, then I'll use it. How
Okay.
about that?
All right. So he got one success against you, anyway, and that if you had spent a willpower point, you would have remembered everything, but you didn't spend a willpower point, so you're going to forget some things. So, what I think I think you remember his face, you remember that moment, but you remember it kind of like a dream. And he's going to continue using this power throughout this situation where you go journeying around inside Cypher Corp. And
But
so the next thing that you remember is you're on the train going home again. But you remember that you met a vampire,
all right,
and you
that's all
and
I
you
care about.
and you remember his face.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. And you now have a face of a Sabbat vampire in London. because you were
I
looking
didn't
for
even
one.
think about that. But thank you for reminding me.
That was the whole point of this.
For alright, yeah. I forget who's Sabat or who's not Sabat. Alright, yeah.
Right,
Is that's what I was worried about was forgetting I met one,
right,
but you made it seem like I was gonna forget that he told me he owned the company. So I was a little confused on like
right.
uh on the because
So,
I don't want to spend willpower, then he uses the same power again and you just fuck.
right. No, out of game. I mean, thing is, he doesn't know whether it's worked or not. Right. So
Mm.
there's that. He can only believe that it worked. He just has to hope it worked. Um, Out of game, what I'm trying to achieve here is to make it clear that what's going on is that whoever Sandra worked for, Sandra was not alone, right? You fucked up Cypher Corporation, Cypher Corp. You took over the company using Steve Jacobs, who was her previous ghoul like you, or maybe not even a ghoul, maybe just a human. But in any case, he worked for her through Cypher Corporation. You've taken over Cypher Corporation, and now these guys are like, wait a minute, where's all our revenue gone? What's going on here? You know, Cypher Corporation's gone down. Our fucking vampire that was running it's disappeared. What the fuck's going on here? We need to go and investigate. And oh, hello, one of the ghouls from Cypher Corporation's now running the show, and they happen to be a vampire. That's interesting, right? So that is a complicated situation for them too, because this is a Camarilla city. They can't just come in here and do shit that's too obvious. And they probably figure they can use you to some way of their own as well. So you're stuck in the middle of a whole web of fucking people wanting shit out of you. You know, everybody wants a piece of you.
Yep, that sounds like
So
real life.
sounds like real life, right? So that's
And
kind of
I like the fact that I could use them back.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
That was the whole point of me wanting to talk to the demon every day, is
And
I
the one
wanted to
thing,
get information
right? And I was
information
going
on
to
him.
say, the one thing that you have up your sleeve that, despite being extraordinarily dangerous, is that you do have Sebnok on your side, but you know, on your side.
I
He's
mean, as
controllable.
long as I'm useful,
He's an asset to you for now.
yeah, and I'm my whole plan was to talk to him to get information,
Hmm.
um, to see. That's why I asked, like, what do you fear and how many?
Right.
Of course, he's gonna be cocky and say he doesn't fear anything,
Of
but I'm
course.
pretty sure he fears something. I might have to talk to a different demon that is all about knowledge
Right.
and to find that out. But I think getting closer with him, it's good and bad, but it's a game I'm willing to play.
Yeah. Fair enough. Cool. All right. So you go back to your haven, I suppose, and you can remember the name of this face of this vampire that you met, and I think that's on your mind when you get there. Um, you still got this kid in the basement. Dr. Soto. Dr. Soto. What a bad man you are. All right. And what do you want to do now? You've got
Well,
5 days before your shipment business goes on.
I guess I do humane experiments on the kid for now.
Humane experiments. What does a humane experiment look like? Is that when
Uh,
you
you
give him
know,
candy and buy him a Happy Meal?
no, I give him blood and see how he reacts and like how long it takes
So you're gonna
and stuff.
ghoul him.
Yeah, for now.
Okay. Okay. So you go to Ghoul Kid. All right. He thinks you're fantastic now. He loves
Yeah.
you. Yeah. He thinks you're fucking great. Okay. Um, and he's like, so you come in with a. I'm just imagining this. Okay. Give me a second. I'll portray a scene to you. Then you tell me how wrong I am about it. Okay. But
Yeah, sure.
I imagine you come in with a tray with some cookies and some milk, and the milk has got some blood in it, right? Something like that.
First I use my vicissitude to give him a mouth back, unseal it.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. So you
yeah.
do that. Right. Do you do that in the dark, or
I mean, it doesn't matter at this point. He's gonna love me later, so
right? So okay. So maybe you come in with a tray of milk and cookies. You put it down. You walk over to him where he's strapped up to a gurney, perhaps, and then you unzip his mouth, and he starts breathing and he's hyperventilating because he thinks he's gonna die, and then you unstrap him and give him the glass of milk. Um, and maybe he's going to be like, he's not going to drink the milk because he's in shock. He's in total fucking shock, terrified. He doesn't even know if he's alive or dead or what's going on. He's in an alien environment. There's mouth zipping business. You're a Nosferatu, even though you might look a bit better now because you might have done some vicissitude on yourself, perhaps. Maybe.
oh no, I'm not wasting.
I'm not wasting that.
The only
That's
thing,
fair
the
enough.
only time I wasted was unzipping his mouth.
Okay.
He can see me like normal.
Okay, fair. So he's freaking out about you too, and then maybe you grab him and force the milk, force him to drink it. Maybe.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Fuck
Okay.
it.
So he drinks this pink milk, this strawberry flavored. It looks like strawberry flavored milk, but it tastes like Vitae. It tastes like the blood of Cain. Um,
He's
and
gonna love the taste.
he's gonna love that shit. So he drinks it, and after a few sips of it, he's just guzzles it down, and he looks up at you. Do you have any more of that? Can I have some more milk, please?
It's been a long day. No.
Oh, okay. And he grabs the cookies and stuffs them in his mouth and just eats them as well. What's your name? I
You
know
could
how
call me Justin.
Justin. Okay. I'm Max. Are you going to take me away from Mum now?
For a little while, yes.
Are you from Child Services?
Yes, I am.
I thought so, because, I don't know. Just glad you got me out of there. I hate her.
Yeah, I saw that. She was a meth. I went to save you.
What did you do to my mouth?
Oh, and it was just a precaution. I didn't want you screaming and alerting your mom.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. I guess. Have you got a television? Have you got any comic books? I just don't have any of my toys here.
Well, I'm gonna grab some comments and toys for you. Don't worry.
Okay. I don't like this place. It's cold. And it's dark. I think there's somebody here.
It's just your imagination.
Okay. I was... I don't want to go to sleep.
Don't.
What am I going to do? Is it
Whatever
school
you want.
tomorrow? What about school? I don't have my school bag or anything.
It's you're gonna be on vacation for a little bit, so no school for a little while.
Okay. What about my friends though? I was supposed to go on a sleepover tomorrow.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I'm sorry.
Oh. What was your name again?
Justin.
Justin.
Mhm.
Can I go home, Justin? I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to be bad. I didn't mean to be bad. I want to go home now.
Please let me go, Justin. Just want to go home. I'm sorry. Just tell Mum I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be bad. I'll be good from now on. I won't cry.
Solo just walks out, closes the door, and locks it.
What a bastard. Okay.
You're a bastard. You're making me feel bad.
Yeah.
Doing a great job at that, making me feel bad, making me feel emotions. Wow.
Okay. All right. So, then what? What do you do after that?
Yeah, I test different poisons on him and to see the healing effect. Why you laugh?
So you're gonna test poisons on this kid?
Yeah, I have to test the neuro agent I just made, don't I? To see if it works.
I
It
guess
worked on the
so.
rat.
I did work on the rat. Okay, so what do? You bring it in a syringe or something, or is it like touch? Like, does it like skin contact, something like that, or
I mean,
what?
I have a
Do you
whole
have to
bunch of
breathe it?
different days. It's supposed to be like a grenade gas thing.
Okay,
So
so you.
yeah, I opened the door and just throw that shit in there. Yo, why are you laughing?
Because that's seriously callous, and because you might have to make another self-conscience check, because this is mean as.
What? He's not dying though.
No, but it's gonna be painful, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Alright,
It's not gonna kill him. It's not gonna kill him, but he may wish he was dead.
we don't know that yet.
We don't know that. That's true, and the fact that you're risking the possibility is also pretty callous. Let's be fair.
I have to. We don't. Ghouls are more powerful than regular humans, so I have to see
Absolutely.
how strong
Yeah, yeah.
my
That's
neurons.
that's why he's going to survive the neurotoxin, but it's going to hurt like fuck because it doesn't kill him. It just hurts
I
him.
need to know if he like passes out, because that's like a major
Right.
part of it.
Right.
And
So
different toxins.
this is very scientific, actually, isn't it? Because you're going to
Yeah,
use this, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah. Wild
yeah.
Heart says humanity check, please. I tend to agree. This is a humanity check. Let's make a a conscience check, please. Oh, that wait. You have one conscience, so you
Yeah,
automatically fail.
you lose. Why does it say uncaring if it's supposed to be one? It, I might have to switch this around a little bit. Can I upgrade my conscience with
Yep.
XP?
Yep.
Oh, I might have to upgrade this shit a lot. Yeah, we might have to check that out. Well, technically I have like 8 XP for this character alone.
Okay.
Can I spend it on my conscience?
Conscience? Yep, for sure.
How much XP? Wait, can?
Yep, I'll find it for you if you want.
Yeah, like somebody said, he might turn into a monster.
Well, let's face it, he was a meaty ghoul. I mean, it's not any great surprise, is it? Okay, so a virtue is the current rating times 2. So for the first dot, it will cost you 2 experience points if you have 1 conscience, and for the second, to gain a third dot, that will cost you 4 experience points. So 4, 5, 6 to get 3 will cost 6 experience points.
All right, now I can roll 3 die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think
I passed it.
You passed
3
it.
successes.
Okay. All right. So you test him with the nerve gas, but that's when you realize, what the fuck am I doing? Like, this is awful. What I'm doing is awful, and you feel terrible about it. So yeah, that is harrowing for you to realize that you have lost so much humanity, that you have fallen to this monstrous perception of yourself. Yeah. And so that's why you gain humanity in the story. You know, that explains how the experience points get filtered into humanity, and why you suddenly feel a lot worse about what you're doing. It kind of puts you in a point where you stop and check yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still get the results in the test, right?
Because that's what matters. Yes, you
Science is
do.
at heart.
Yep.
Uh,
Right. Okay. And what was your nature again? We
well,
decided it was deviant, wasn't it?
deviant and visionary. I think we
And visionary.
changed it from scientist.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
think it's good. So yeah,
yeah,
I think
the
Feral
future would be.
Artificer says give him a willpower point back for that. I agree. That's exactly where I was going with this. Is give him a willpower point back, because I think that you play to your nature and demeanor very nicely. So you get a willpower point back for that. All right. Well, I think we probably
Did
should wrap
you
up. Yeah.
give artificer what I told you about?
I have not, but if you want to, it's up to you. Yeah, you want to tell him now?
I mean, I mean, I don't know. Because you say he was gonna do a free one.
Mm.
Unless, are you gonna give him his own solo game, or
That was not a
unless he just
solo. The thing that he's signing up for is a different thing. It's a one shot for players that have never played Vampire the Masquerade in the past,
um
and he's never played Vampire before. So but that's a group game with 2 or 3 other people who have not played. So it's just for total noobs. But you've kind of opened
see if
the
he
gate now. Yeah. Feral
see if he
Artificer.
wants it.
Feral Artificer Ray here is offering to purchase for you, or rather, he's got a spare game up his sleeve that he's already paid for, and he's wondering if you would like to use it to play a solo vampire game. So that's up to you, Feral Artificer. Otherwise, we could auction it off. I don't know, whatever Ray wants to do with it.
Yeah,
So
I was
yeah.
like, because I already have a couple of solo games every Friday. I just did this to build a streak. Um,
You're
so,
just building a streak. Nice.
so I was after, I think Sunday game goes to like Monday for my time.
Okay.
I don't really need unless I'm planning on starting a D&D game, which I really don't want to do. That's the only way I see this working is I still have the Friday games to finish this up.
Right.
Yeah. Um. uh,
Right, Wildheart. A gambler and achiever. A streak makes sense. Alright, well, let's wrap up the stream anyway. We can talk a bit more after that. I'm going to have to do some prep because I have another game today. Goodness me, I'm a busy fellow.
Hey, make that money.
Yep, got to make them monies. So, let's quickly raid. Raid! There's an ad in New Zealand for a insect spray called Raid. It goes like that. Which is what I think of every time I raid someone. Ancestral Blood Vampire the Masquerade episode 15. Let's hit them. Goodness, they have 68 viewers. Okay, here we go. Rating them. Dun, 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 dun. So we'll be going into them in any second now. Here we go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You have a good one. We'll see you soon. Be back on in a couple of hours. And stream ending. Whoop.